In the following presentation, you'll hear from SNO Operating CEO Joe Hession, PSIA-AASI CEO Nick Herron, and a 20-year veteran of the snow sports industry, Shaun Cattanach, to further cover how the SNO-GO Premier Partner Program can expand your resort's offering to your customers, create valuable new cash flows, and memories for many that will last forever. It's widely understood throughout the snow sports industry that increasing participation numbers by a significant degree proves to be one of its most challenging tasks. An exponentially long, sometimes painful, and cost-prohibitive learning curve involved with learning to ski or snowboard quickly filters out eager newcomers every year. In 2011, SNO-GO founders Obed Martyr and Chase Wagstaff envisioned a new machine that captured the intuitive feeling of riding a bike with ski articulation to control your speed through edging as done by skis and snowboard. The key was a technology they dubbed SLAC for synchronized lateral articulation technology. The second key was developing a chairlift hook for safe and easy use loading all standard chairlifts. With control and safety paramount in the design process, SNO-GO released its first bike in 2017 with continued improvements each year thereafter. Two successful crowdfunding campaigns and content featured in places like Outside Online and the Chive Network have driven global demand into multiple continents and dozens of countries. Here in the US, SNO-GO is allowed at over 200 resorts. Unlike other ski bike products, SNO-GO is the only bike endorsed and recognized by the Professional Ski Instructors of America and the American Association of Snowboard Instructors.
I'm actually kind of embarrassed when Chase, Obed, and I all first met. I think it took us about 6 months, and finally I think I might have been avoiding them a little bit. And it was more because I had my administrative, maybe operator role hat on rather than an education hat on. Sometimes as educators, we have to step back and be open to new ideas. And that's when I realized it dispels a lot of myths. It's a completely different way. You get on and you immediately slide, where as much as I like to think that we're forward thinking, we all know in the educational world, the first thing we do is we get on and we teach the exact same progression we've been teaching for skiing or snowboarding for 20 years for snowboarding or 30 or 40 years for skiing. So this forced us to change immediately beginner progressions and looking at how we get people moving on snow quicker, which was really exciting. I think an instructor is much bigger than just giving a progression or a how-to method, right? It's about delivering the mountain experience. Our vision statement in PSIA-AASI is adventure through education. There's nothing in our vision statement that says skiing or snowboarding, and that's on purpose as an association, because in my mind, having someone there to support someone to walk through someone with the SNO-GO experience, it's only going to leave that lasting impression, not just with the SNO-GO, but with your mountain. And in my mind, snow sports instruction has grown so much bigger to guiding, to sharing the experience, to sharing the fun, showing the right tree trails. So my answer to you is, what kind of experience does your guests want to have? Chase was willing to come out to Winter Park, and I did a staff retreat with 18 of my staff. And I have 2 staff members that have never skied or snowboarded in my offices. And the coolest thing about that was within the first 5 minutes, we're riding a lift and they're sliding and gliding at the top of the lift, and everyone is doing it together. Coincidentally, this was, I think it was March 10th, March 8th, somewhere around there. It was right before COVID. So my staff continued to laugh that their best day on the hill was not skiing or snowboarding this year. It was actually snow-going, and it was their last day on the hill. I just can't encourage you enough. Don't do what I did and avoid just trying it out and have those answers for yourself, because immediately within 10 minutes, I knew exactly all of those things, those preconceived, operational issues. If I just took the time and put my education hat on and really learned, it absolutely opened my eyes to solving these problems really quickly.
January 2020 gave birth to the Premier Partner Program. 18 resorts now carry fleets of SNO-GO rental bikes and offer lessons as Premier Partners. In those 8 weeks, we learned SNO-GO has proven acceptance, 4.9 out of 5 stars from over 100 reviews. Resorts average 35 bike rentals per week. 85% of newcomers cited SNO-GO as easy to moderately easy to learn. Over 4,000 SNO-GO lessons were given. Over 220 instructors added SNO-GO lessons to their resume. SNO-GO incidents are rare. Approximately 1 in 200, or 0.5% of first-time users experience a minor crash, and most of those get back on the bike and cited that they will return to SNO-GO again. Learning to ride the chairlift was easy for newcomers and generally figured it out within a few runs.
I'm excited to share with you just my thoughts on SNO-GO and a little bit why I want to be involved with this company, not only as a partner, but as a board member, and something that I really want to invest time and effort into, with everything going on. So the reality is your first day skiing or your first day snowboarding, there's a lot of things we can do, great instructors. We've been partners with Nick and PSIA-AASI for a long time. We know that having great instructors and great people are critical. Obviously, I've spent the last 8 years of my life trying to figure out ways to manipulate terrain with terrain-based learning and using terrain to get people sliding and having more fun. The third piece of that is the equipment that they're riding, right? So we've worked heavily with Burton Snowboards, Jeff Balipa and obviously Shaun himself on many projects. And we've worked with companies like our partner at Head Skis on how to look at that. So how'd I end up working with SNO-GO is one day I get a phone call, you have to come across the street, you have to see this snow bike. So I go and see SNO-GO, and I'm with my attorney / our general counsel for our company. His name's Scott, and he's a beginner skier. He can ski some green runs. He's starting to look at some mellow blues. Like, he's a true beginner skier. He doesn't, his skiing, he needed some work. He needed Nick to spend a few months with this guy. So we go across the street together. We look at the SNO-GO. So Scott said, can I ride it? And my initial gut reaction was no. So I look at Scott and say, you can't ride this because you don't really know how to ski. And we don't really know much about this yet. And everything else I've heard about snow bikes, no. The whole ride up the lift, I'm busting Scott's chops saying, listen, man, this is going to end so poorly for you. But it's going to be very rewarding for me to be able to have this story for many years. What happened next is why I am pumped to work with these guys and believe in it so much is Scott then went down a full green run, top to bottom, no issues, making perfect turns. Because if you look at the way the ski the SNO-GO, if you really look at how it's built, it's basically forcing you to make perfect turns. I watched the amount of control he had, I saw how quickly he did it, and I saw the smile he had on his face after, and it also just blew my mind from what I thought ahead of time. So you have preconceived notions, and I saw some questions on how do they handle this, how do they like that, how do they handle on ice. If you've ridden a snow bike and you've not seen or ridden a SNO-GO in real life, just don't even put them in the same category. The product's great, these guys have a great vision for it, and we're excited to be partners in this business because one, I think that it's going to open up a completely new segment. I think every time you try to put SNO-GO into a box, you kind of get yourself in trouble because you're not thinking big enough. So the other thing that gets me excited about it is they understand that working with resorts and being part of the conversation and finding partners along the way. The fact that they have an e-learning course on how to use a SNO-GO bike from PSIA-AASI this early in the game is mind-blowing. Some people are like, oh, this is cool, we'll get them on a SNO-GO, then we'll eventually get them on a snowboard. Yeah, maybe that'll happen. Or some people are like, oh, maybe we'll get them on a SNO-GO, then we'll get them on skis. But, I think I'm starting to become a very strong believer of maybe they'll go on a SNO-GO and then want a SNO-GO. And we've introduced these at Mountain Creek and Big Snow. At Big Snow, an interesting thing is Whoopi Goldberg's children are big fans of Big Snow because Whoopi Goldberg had a store in the mall around the holidays. So her kids come to to Big Snow, and they are SNO-GOers.
They are SNO-GOers.
Like that's what they do.
Thousands are already reimagining what is possible this winter through the potential of SNO-GO bikes. Some will return to the slopes after a decade or more. Others will join friends, family, and partake in the fun. And many will carve groomed runs and play in the powder for the very first time. Finally, there are instructors excited to expand their careers, teaching and sharing this exciting new experience. SNO-GO is an inclusive new sport that respects tradition and embraces revolution.
Hi, I'm Shaun Cattanach. You may know me from the past 2 decades of my efforts helping to grow snowboarding around the globe. But now, I'm excited to be a part of the SNO-GO team, bringing a new winter sport to the industry. There's all sorts of different ways that SNO-GO bikes can operate into what your resort has already going. If you have questions or you're interested in talking more about how SNO-GO can be an effective part of your resort's efforts, go ahead, click the link, fill out your info, and I'll be in touch. Till then, stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon.